Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Community Brokerage. My name is Mohammed. In this video, I'm gonna help you guys with certain as a taxable final test for tax preparer. If you're planning to do a quick study guide, I'm gonna be here to help you guys out. It's just gonna be an explanation videos more than obviously question and answers. So let's get started. Let's do question number one. Which of the following is taxable income? Jury duty pay, wages, unemployment compensation, all the above. Well, the correct answer is all the above. Remember, jury duty pay, wages, and unemployment compensation are all taxable income, which means that you can be taxed with them. So keep that in mind. There are certain things that are not taxable income. For example, if you buy certain Medicaid drugs, they are not taxable income. I mean, there are some of the exceptions, but these are the three taxable income. So make sure you know that. So number two, if you file married filing jointly, you can claim your spouse as your dependent if your spouse has no gross income, was not the dependent for another taxpayer, none of the above. Well, answer is none of the above. Look at the question again. If you file married filing jointly, you can claim your spouse as your dependent. If your spouse, well, here's the thing. Your spouse is not a dependent. If you're married filing jointly, you're not dependent. You're filing it together. Dependents are, for example, your children are considered as dependent. If you have somebody living with you, that's a dependent. If you're married filing jointly, automatically you're not dependent. You're both working together. So maybe that's a trick question. So make sure you know that part. Number three, what is the justice gross income? Your A, your after tax income. B, your taxable income after deduction. C, your taxable income before deduction. Well, the answer is C. Your taxable income before deduction is an adjusted gross income. Again, what is adjusted gross income? Well, the same exact thing. They're repeated questions. Number five, you cannot claim an exemption for a child. You cannot claim an exemption for a child if that has been kidnapped. They lived only a few hours after birth. There is a eligible foster child placed in an authorized agency who lived the entire year, or stillborn, or none of the above. Well, the answer is none of the above. You cannot claim an exemption of a child on any of them. Make sure you know that. Number six, which of the following items are included in total support? Fair rental value, life insurance premium, funeral expenses, state income tax, social security, and Medicare taxes. Well, the only items included in total support are going to be fair rental value. Number seven, the form typically used by custodial parents to release the exemption to a non-custodial parent is, well, it's quite self-explanatory. It's Form 8332. That's the form that's used for custodial parents to release the exemption to a non-custodial parent. Number 8. The 5 tests for qualifying child are, well, I'm just going to go over the answer. It's relationship, age, residency, sport, special test for qualifying child for more than one person. These are the 5 tests to determine if the child is qualified for child's income tax credit. If they don't have any of the 5, then they cannot be claimed. Make sure you know that part. Which of the following doesn't count as an itemized deduction on your income tax? Well, the only thing that doesn't count an itemized deduction on income tax are going to be the cost of utilities like water and gas. Theft losses can be covered in itemized deduction, and gambling losses can be covered as itemized deduction. Make sure you know that part. Which of the following isn't a good reason to file a tax amendment? It's not a good reason. A, you made a mathematical error. B, you put down the wrong filing status. C, you forgot to count someone as a dependent. Well, if you look at all 3 of the choices, the least troublesome choice is A. You made a mathematical error. If you forgot to put filing status in your tax return, you forgot about that, you have to make an amendment, because think about it. If the person was married filing jointly and you put down single, guess what? They're getting less tax credit, meaning they're gonna get less check when in the end of the year. No one wants that. Number C, you forgot someone as dependent, same exact thing. If you forgot to add somebody, you're gonna get less person. So these are the things you have to make a filing amendment. Make sure you know that part. Number 11. Which form tells your employer that all you need to know about your tax related allowance information? Well, the answer is W4. Make sure you know that. Number 12. Which of the following are not needed at the tax preparer's office? The only thing you don't need, you need a pay stub, you need a medical expenses. You don't need rental agreement lease. That you don't need at the preparer's office. What is the deadline for filing tax form? It's April 15th for 2017. Every year is different, so make sure you know that part. Number 14. A child is considered to be a qualifying child of any other taxpayer if A. The child's parent decide not to claim on him or her. B. The child's parent is required to file a tax return. C. The child's parent is not required to file a return and does not file a return. And number G. The child's parent files a return only to obtain a refund of withheld tax. The answer is C and D. In determining support, the following expenses of the entire household are included except. The only thing that's not included is gonna be life insurance premium. Make sure you know that part. 16. If you're considered married for the whole year, you and your spouse can file as you have options. You could the answer is C, either married filing jointly or married filing single. That's the only time you could do that if you're considered married for the whole year. Number 17. You can choose to file married filing jointly if your spouse died anytime during the year. That's the correct answer. If anytime during the year you're filing married filing jointly, if your spouse died, you could do that. Make sure you know that part. What does the IRS stand for? IRS stands for Internal Revenue Services. Number 19. Which of the following cannot use the single filing status? The questions which the following cannot use. The correct answer is C. You and your spouse can both file single since you lived apart for most of the year. That's the only part that you cannot file single filing status, because you and your spouse, you both file single since you lived apart for most of the years, meaning that you lived more than half of the year with them, like 11 months. How can you put married filing single when you were there the whole year? Number 20. If you file married filing single, all the following are true, except which of the following is not true? That's the question they're asking. The answer is B. You cannot use the tax table to determine your tax. So there's a thing called tax table. You can't just use that to determine your tax. That's the only part. This is not true. You're not supposed to. Number 21. On Form 1040, filing status 4 is, well, you have to look at the form on 1040. It's H and H. Which of the following, number 22, generally have the lowest tax rate? Well, there's two options: married filing jointly or qualified widower. Most likely the lower tax rate is going to be married filing jointly. It all depends as well with with certain circumstances. Number 23. Which of the following relatives do not have to live with you to be considered a qualifying person for head of household? The only the answer is D, mother. Box 10 of the Frankie's Form W2 shows $1,500. What information does this give to Frankie? Well, if you have the 1040 form and the W2 form, you'll see in the box 10, the answer is B, the amount of dependent care benefit excluded from Form W2 box 1 wage. Number 25. How many tax brackets are used in the United States? Well, it's only 6. Number 26. Which of the following must be reported on line 7 on Form 1040? Well, it's all the above. Make sure you know that part. Number 27. Taxable interest reported on line of Form 1040 is going to be line 8A. 28. If total taxable interest is more than $1,500 reported on, multiple answers. It's A, line 8A on Form 1040, and B, Part 1 of Schedule B. 29. State or local income tax returns are reported to you on it's mostly none of the above. Make sure you know that part. Number 30. Unemployment compensation is reported to you on Form 1099G. Number 31. Other income reported on line 21 of Form 1040 include all the following except it's A, amounts from money market funds. Number 32. What form do you use to file for an extension? It's 4868. That's the form you use to file extension. Number 33. You do not have to report your state tax refund if and only if the answer is E, which is A and C. You use the standard deduction the previous year and you claim state and local general sales tax to an itemized deduction. 34. The standard deduction a taxpayer can claim dependent on is all the above, which is filing status, 65 years or older and or blind, whether it can be claimed as a dependent on another taxpayer return. 35. Which of the following is not an itemized deduction that can be included in your taxes? Well, the answer is C. Tax penalties. Number 36. All the following are itemized deduction except. The answer is C. Utilities taxes. Number 37. If you're divorced and custody of your kids, you should file as head of households. Number 38. When you get married as newlywed, you should A. Reassess your withholding amounts. Number 39. The top ordinary income tax bracket for the 2015 and 2016 tax year is C. 39.6%. Number 40. Tax time is tax scam time. In recent years, one scam has made major threats into many taxpayer lives. It is fake IRS agent telephone calls. That is very important because people do call with fake IRS telephone calls. Number 41. If the client has contract labor, what income reporting from your household should an independent contractor sometime receive from the foreign who pays on her device is called 1099 miscellaneous. Number 42. What client's information is confidential? Well, the answer is D. The name, the address, the phone number, the place of employment, and any information from a tax return. That is all confidential. Which means that you cannot give the answers to anyone about this. Meaning, like, if you get information from a client, you cannot give their information to anyone else. So keep that in mind. Not even for solicitation purposes. Number 43. Where can the regular standard deduction amount be found? The answer is B. In the left-hand side margin on the top page of 2 on Form 1040 and 1048. Number 44. What two amounts combine to make up the gross income filing requirement for most taxpayers? The answer is C. The standard deduction and the personal exemption amount. Number 45. At what amounts must interest income be reported on Form 1040 Schedule B? The answer is C. Any interest over $10. So basically that's about it. I just wanted to give you a quick question. The answers, I know I didn't go over a lot of information about this. It gets very long and lengthy. I just wanted to go over the answers so you have a better understanding. This is the type of question they can ask if you are becoming a tax preparer. If you do a school tax test, they give you some time, so this will help you out a little bit at least. Thank you for your time to watch this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any other questions, comment, concern, please comment and subscribe. Or if you have any other questions about the test or any type of certification or anything like that, I'm always here to help you guys out. Thank you for your time to watch this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it.